Hey YouTube, it's been a long time. Today we're gonna do something that's gonna be pretty fun. We're gonna run our first part on the Syil. So let's take a look at the machine and how I have it set up. So I've got the M-Lock 125 Duo set up, and you can see that I've got a piece of stock in the front that's set up as G54, and I've got a set of soft jaws in the back, and that is set up as G55. I've done a test program to make sure everything works. But what we're going to do is, this is what we're going to end up making as a speed vise handle. I'm going to be giving away about 15 or 20 of these, depending on how many I do. I've got the Syil logo engraved on them, and we're going to make a set of soft jaws that holds it for the op 2. So let's head into the office. I'm going to pull up the CAM program and show you how this is going to run, and then we'll come back out here and get the machine fired up, and you can watch this part being made. So here's the part that we're going to be cutting today. Now, if you look back, I've talked about this before, but I thought I would just give everybody a rundown since it's been quite a while since I did talk about this in the video. I have a virtual setup of my M-Lock 125 Duo, and you can see the speed vise handle in the front and the soft jaws in the back. I've got 3 setups. I've got a setup that cuts the top side. I've got a setup that cuts the soft jaw, and then I've got a setup that cuts the flip side when it flips over to the back side. So what's going to happen is first we start out by facing the part. I use the shear hog to clear out all the material, do an adaptive clearing around the outside of it to get rid of the majority of the material. I do some spot drilling. I drill a couple more little spot drills in the center of the hexes. Then we go for the 1/8 inch through holes. We drill the .201 through hole. Come back with a 1/4-20 tap and tap that hole. Drill a couple clearance holes through the hex, bring in a 1/4 inch flat to rough out the inside of the hexes, clean the outside and the inside of the material that I left over, add a chamfer to the top side of the part, and then a trace for the Syil logo that's going to go on this handle. And that's going to wrap up the top side. So if I were to turn on the handle, let me click on my setup and we'll simulate this really quick so we can see what's going to happen with this. Not post it, simulate it. I want to make sure I'm on tail and slow the speed down just a little bit. So basically what you're going to see is what I just talked about. I'm going to face it, cutting only one direction. Then the shear hog is going to come in here and do the adaptive clearing. I'd have to look. I'll put it in the video when we cut how big of a step down and step over I'm taking with this tool. I do know it's going to be cutting at 10,000 RPM, leaving 10 thousandths of material around the outside. So I'll just skip ahead. Now you're going to see the spot drilling come. I'm going to drill the 1/8 inch holes and the 2 3/8 and the 201. Come through and peck drill the 1/8 inch holes, and then we'll go through and we'll peck drill the .201 hole, and then we'll peck drill the 3/8 holes. I probably could have got away with just through drilling those 3/8 holes without doing any pecks. The adaptive roughs out the inside and outside, and now it's going to do a 2D contour of the outside with a repeat finishing pass that's turned on. It's going to go back into the hole and do the repeat finishing pass and do the repeat finishing pass. Here comes my chamfer tool to put a nice little corner on here, take the sharp edge off. And then you're going to finish up with the Syil logo. So that's going to be what we're going to do in the G54 position. Now in the soft jaws, if I were to go and turn this on, what we'll see if we simulate it is we start out with let me slow this down just a little bit. We use the 1/4 inch flat to just go through and remove the material between the soft jaws. Now, as you saw out there in the machine, I've got a 1/4 inch spacer stuffed in there, using some parallels to get my spacing right, and I just have to put those in there and run this program. I'm facing the bottom of it to get it to a nice true height, and then it'll come through and clean up the walls of the repeat finishing pass that's on there. So there's the repeat, and then the chamfer just comes and kind of knocks the edges off and gets rid of all the burrs. All right, so we'll expand out the models. I'm going to turn on the second speed vise handle. And if we go to the handle flip, all we're going to do in this the last one, is it's going to face off or adaptive clear the remaining material, the hatted material that's on the opposite side. So it's just going to go through and get rid of that hatted material. I think I'm leaving 10 thousandths of an inch on the floor. And once it cleans all the hatted material off, It's then going to take the shear hog. I'm doing it in a couple depths of passes. I'm not being super aggressive with the tools and feeds and speeds yet. I'm trying to get a handle for how everything cuts on the machine and the tooling and the work holding and all that kind of stuff. So it gets rid of that strip, and now we're going to face it to the final height. So that's just going to go and do a facing operation on there. And then we're going to end up with the chamfering operation that goes all the way around the part and finishes up the backside. All right, so those are the 3 programs that we're going to do. Now, what I want to do in this program is I'm going to make a program that cuts the top of the handle and the soft jaws. And I'm going to make a second program that cuts the top of the handle and the handle flip side. So it'll minimize all the tool changes to get everything done. So I'm going to go up to my setup menu and choose create NC program. So here's what I want to give it a name or a number. I'm going to call this, I'm just going to call this 1. Let's just give this a number of 1. My output folder, I'm going to configure where I want this to go. And so I'm going to use this no name folder is where it's going to go. And let's go ahead and hit open there. I'll go through, I want to make sure that I have this set the right way. So I'm going to use my personal cloud. And now inside of here, I want to use this Syil Siemens numeric post. So that's what I'm going to grab. And the only other thing that I want to make sure that I have unchecked is right now it's set to preload the tool. I'm using an umbrella style holder. I want to uncheck that so it does not preload my tool so as it goes and runs. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with all of that. Now in the operations, I want to make sure that I post out the handle top and the soft jaws. And if we look, you can see it's going to go tool 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we come back and we repeat some of those things over again. So I'm just going to make sure that I minimize the tool changes to put everything like together. And I'll go ahead and I'll say post. It's warning me that I've got a G54 and G55 selected at the same time, and I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit the OK button, and it's going to post that output out to my thumb drive. I'm going to do that one more time. So setup and say create an NC program. And for this one, I'm just going to call it 2, the second program. It's going to put it back on that same thing. It's remembering the, I guess I have to uncheck the preload tool. I don't want that to be remembered, so I'm going to uncheck that. And then I'm going to go to the operations tab. And on the operations tab, this time I want to cut the handle top and I want to cut the handle flip. So the second setup. And again, I'm going to have the tools reordered so you can see it moves the adaptive around as I do that. So I'm going to have those reordered and we'll post that out. It's again warning me that I have multiple work ordnance systems selected. I'll hit OK. And now I've got my second program and we're ready to head back out to the garage, load these programs up, and do a production run of these speed vise handles. so there we have it. The first part made for a YouTube video. You can see, clean this up a little bit. There's the back side. There's the front side. So all I have to do now is keep running my second program until I get through the box of stock, and then I'll have one final program that just does the back side. And I'm gonna just keep on cutting all these pieces of stock until I'm done. So thanks for watching. I know this video got a little bit on the longer side. I'll keep working on things like making the audio better and stuff like that, but love to know what you guys think of this video, and hopefully many more machining videos to come.